Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Western Canon Challenge, where we are reading the entirety of the Western literary canon out loud. Today, we are beginning the Letters of Emily Dickinson. This is edited by Mabel Loomis Todd and is in the public domain. And with that said, I'll get started. 1. To Mrs. A.P. Strong. The letters in this chapter were written to a schoolmate and early friend. The first is one of the oldest yet found, dated when Emily Dickinson had but recently passed her 14th birthday. Before the era of outer envelopes, it is quaintly written on a large square sheet, and so folded that the fourth page forms a cover bearing the address. Most of the remaining letters to Mrs. Strong are thus folded and sealed, either with a wax or wafers, occasionally with little rectangular or diamond papers bearing mottos stamped in gold. The handwriting is almost microscopic, the pages entirely filled, merely personal items have been generally omitted. It will be seen that the name Emily E. Dickinson is sometimes used, with the spelling Emily being Emile. This was a youthful vagary, and the second initial E stood for Elizabeth, a middle name entirely discarded in later years. Amherst, February 23, 1845. Dear A. After receiving the smitings of conscience for a long time, I have at length succeeded in stifling the voice of that faithful monitor by a promise of a long letter to you. So leave everything and sit down prepared for a long siege in the shape of a bundle of nonsense from friend E. I keep a lock of hair as precious as gold, and a great deal more so. I often look at it when I go to my little lot of treasures, and wish the owner of that glossy lock were here. Old time wags on pretty much as usual at Amherst, and I know of nothing that has occurred to break the silence. However, the reduction of the postage has excited my risible somewhat. Only think, we can send a letter before long for 5 little coppers only, filled with the thoughts and advice of dear friends, but I will not get into a philosophizing strain just yet. There is time enough for that upon another page of this mammoth sheet. Your beau ideal, D, I have not seen lately. I presume he was changed into a star some night while gazing at them, and placed in the constellation Orion between Bellatrix and Betelgeuse. I doubt not if he was here he would wish to be kindly remembered to you. What delightful weather we have had for a week. It seems more like smiling May crowned with flowers than cold Arctic February wading through snowdrifts. I have heard some sweet little birds sing, but I fear we shall have more cold weather, and their little bills will be frozen up before their songs are finished. My plants look beautifully. Old King Frost has had not the pleasure of snatching any of them in his cold embrace as yet, and I hope will not. Our little pussy has made out to live. I believe you know what a fatality attends our little kitties, all of them having had 6 die one right after the other. Do you love your little niece Jay as well as ever? Your soliloquy on the year that is past and was gone was not unheeded by me. Would that we might spend the year which is now fleeting so swiftly by to better advantage than the one in which we have not the power to recall. Now I know you will laugh and say I wonder what makes Emily so sentimental, but I don't care if you do, for I shan't hear you. What are you doing this winter? I am about everything. I am now working a pair of slippers to adorn my father's feet. I wish you would come and help me finish them. Although it is late in the day, I am going to wish you a happy New Year. Not but what I think your New Year will pass just as happily without it, but to make a little return for your kind wish, which so far in a good many respects has been granted, probably because you wish that it might be so. I go to singing school Sabbath evenings to improve my voice. Don't you envy me? I wish you would come and make me a long visit. If you will, I will entertain you to the best of my abilities, which you know are neither few nor small. Why can't you persuade your father and mother to let you come here to school next term and keep me company as I am going? Miss Blank, I presume you can guess who I mean, is going to finish her education next summer. The finishing stroke is to be put on at Newton. She will then have learned all that we poor foot travelers are toiling up the hill of knowledge to acquire. Wonderful thought! Her horse has carried her along so swiftly that she has nearly gained the summit, and we are plodding along on her foot after her. Well said and sufficient this. We'll finish an education sometime, won't we? You may then be Plato, and I will be Socrates, provided you won't be wiser than I am. Lavinia just now interrupted my flow of thought by saying, "Give my love to A." I presume you will be glad to have someone break off this epistle. All the girls send much love to you, and please accept a large share for yourself. From your beloved, Emily E. Dickinson. Please send me a copy of that romance you are writing at Amherst. I am in a fever to read it. I expect it will be against my Whig feelings. After this postscript, many others follow, across the top, down the edges, tucked in wherever space will allow. There are also a few lines from each of the three girls, friends to Dear A. Amherst, May 7th, 1845. Dear A. It seems almost an age since I have seen you, and it is indeed an age for friends to be separated. I was delighted to receive a paper from you, and I was also much pleased with the news it contained, especially that you are taking lessons on the penny, as you always call it. But remember not to get on ahead of me. Father intends to have a piano very soon. How happy I shall be when I have one of my own. Old Father Time has wrought so many changes here since your last short visit. Mrs. S.T. and Mrs. N.M. have both taken the marriage vows upon themselves. Dr. Hitchcock has moved into his new house, and Mrs. Tyler across the way from our house has moved into President Hitchcock's old house. Mr. C. is going to move into Mr. T.'s former house, but the worst thing old Time has done here is he has walked so fast as to overtake H.M. and carry her to Hartford on last week Saturday. I was so vexed with him for it that I ran after him and made out to get near enough to him to put some salt on his tail when he fled and left me to run home alone. Vinny went to Boston this morning with Father to be gone a fortnight, and I am left alone in all my glory. I suppose she has got there before this time and is probably staring with mouth and eyes wide open at the wonders of the city. I have been to walk tonight and got some very choice wildflowers. I wish you had some of them. Vinny and I both go to school this term. We have a very fine school. There are 63 scholars. I have 4 studies. They are mental philosophy, geology, Latin, and botany. How large they sound, don't they? I don't believe you have such big studies. My plants look finely now. I am going to send you a little geranium leaf in this letter, which you must press for me. Have you made an herbarium yet? I hope you will if you have not. It would be such a treasure to you. Most all the girls are making one. If you do, perhaps I can make some additions to it from flowers growing around here. How do you enjoy your school this term? Are the teachers as pleasant as our old school teachers? I expect you have a great many prim, starched-up young ladies there, who I doubt not are perfect models of propriety and good behavior. If they are, don't let your free spirit be chained by them. I don't know as there are any in the school of this stamp, but there are most always a few whom the teachers look up to and regard as their satellites. I am growing handsome very fast indeed. I expect I shall be the belle of Amherst when I reach my 17th year. I don't doubt that I shall have perfect crowds of admirers at that age. Then how I shall delight to make them await my bidding, and with what delight shall I witness their suspense while I make my final decision. But away with my nonsense. I have written one composition this term, and I need not assure you it was exceedingly edifying to myself as well as everybody else. Don't you want to see it? I really wish you could have a chance. We are obliged to write some composition once in a fortnight, and select a piece to read from some interesting book the week that we don't write compositions. We really have some most charming young women in school this term. I shan't call them anything but women, for women they are in every sense of the word. I must, however, describe one, and while I describe her, I wish imagination, who is ever present with you, to make a little picture of this self-same young lady in your mind, and by her aid, if you cannot conceive how she looks, well, to begin, then just imagine her as she is, and a huge string of gold beads encircling her neck, and don't she present a lively picture? And then she is so bustling, she is always whizzing about, and whenever I come in contact with her, I really think that I am in a hornet's nest. I cannot help think every time I see this singular piece of humanity of Shakespeare's description of a tempest in a teapot. But I must not laugh about her, for I verily believe she has a good heart, and that is the principal thing nowadays. Don't you hope I shall become wiser in the company of such virtuosos? It would certainly be desirable. Have you noticed how beautifully the trees look now? They seem to be completely covered with fragrant blossoms. I had so many things to do for Vinnie as she is going away, that very much against my wishes, I deferred writing you until now, but forgive and forget, dear A, and I will promise to do better in future. Do write me soon, and let it be a long, long letter, and when you can't get time to write, send a paper, so as to let me know you think of me still, though we are separated by hill and stream. All the girls send much love to you. Don't forget to let me receive a letter from you soon. I can say no more now as my paper is all filled up. Your affectionate friend, Emily E. Dickinson. Written in 1845, postmarked Amherst, August 4th. Sabbath Eve. Dear A, I have now sat down to write you a long, long letter. My writing apparatus is upon a stand before me, and all things are ready. I have no flowers before me, as you had to inspire you, but then you know I can imagine myself inspired by them, and perhaps that will do as well. You cannot imagine how delighted I was to receive your letter. It was so full, and everything in it was interesting to me because it came from you. I presume you did not doubt my gratitude for it, on account of my delaying so long to answer it, for you know I have had no leisure for anything. When I tell you that our term has been 11 weeks long, and that I have had 4 studies and taken music lessons, you can imagine how little my time has been taken up lately. I will try to be more punctual in such matters for the future. How are you now? I am very sorry to hear that you are unable to remain in your school on account of your health. It must be such a disappointment to you. But I presume you are enjoying yourself much to be at home again. You asked me in your last letter if old Father Time wagged on in Amherst pretty much as ever. For my part, I see no particular change in his movements, unless it be that he goes on at a swifter pace than formerly, and that he wields his sickle more sternly than ever. How do you like taking music lessons? I presume you are delighted with it. I am taking lessons this term of Aunt S., who is spending the summer with us. I never enjoyed myself more than I have this summer, for we have had such a delightful school and such pleasant teachers, and besides I have had a piano of my own. Our examination is to come off next week on Monday. I wish you would come here at that time. Why can't you come? If you will, you can come and practice on my piano as much as you wish to. I am already gasping in view of our examination, and although I am determined not to dread it, I know it is so foolish, yet in spite of my heroic resolutions, I cannot avoid a few misgivings when I think of those tall, stern trustees, and when I know that I shall lose my character if I don't recite as precisely as the laws of the Medes and Persians. But what matter will that be in 100 years hence? I will distress you no longer with my fears, for you know well enough what they are without my entering into any explanations. Are you practicing now you are at home? I hope you are, for if you are not you would be likely to forget what you have learned. I want very much to hear you play. I have the same instruction book that you have, Bertini, and I am getting along in it very well. Aunt S. says she shan't let me have many tunes now, for she wants I should get over in a book a good ways first. Oh, A., if Sarah G., H., and yourself were only here this summer, what times we should have. I wish, if we can't be together all the time, that we could meet once in a while at least. I wish you would all come to our house, and such times as we would have would be a caution. I want to see you all so much that it seems as if I could not wait. Have you heard anything from Miss Adams, our dear teacher? How much I would give to see her once more, but I am afraid I never shall. She is so far away. You asked me in your letter to tell all the news worth telling, And although there is not much, yet I will endeavor to think of everything that will be new to you. In the first place, Mrs. J and Mrs. S.M. have both of them a little daughter. Very promising children, I understand. I don't doubt if they live, they will be ornaments to society. I think they are both to be considered as embryos of future usefulness. Mrs. W.M. has now 2 granddaughters. Isn't she to be envied? I am sorry that you are laying up H's sins against her. I think you had better heap coals of fire upon her head by writing to her constantly until you can get an answer. I have some patience with these school-marms. They have so many trials. I hope you will decide to blot out her iniquities against her. I don't know about this Mr. E giving you concert tickets. I think for my part it looks rather suspicious. He is a young man, I suppose. These music teachers are always such high-souled beings that I think they would exactly suit your fancy. My garden looks beautifully now. I wish you could see it. I would send you a bouquet if I could get a good opportunity. My houseplants look very finely, too. You wished me to give you some account of S.P. She is attending school this term and studying Latin and algebra. She is very well and happy and sends much love to you. All the girls send much love to you and wish you to write to them. I have been working a beautiful bookmark to give to one of our schoolgirls. Perhaps you have seen it. It is an arrow with a beautiful wreath around it. Have you altered any since I have seen you? Isn't it a funny question for one friend to ask another? I haven't altered any, I think, except that I have my hair done up, and that makes me look different. I can imagine just how you look now. I wonder what you are doing this moment. I have got an idea that you are knitting edging. Are you? Won't you tell me when you answer my letter whether I guessed right or not? You gave me a compliment in your letter in regard to my being a faithful correspondent. I must say I think I deserve it. I have been learning several beautiful pieces lately. The Grave of Bonaparte is one, Lancer's Quickstep, and Maiden Weep No More, which is a sweet little song. I wish much to see you and hear you play. I hope you will come to A before long. Why can't you pass commencement here? I do wish you would. I have looked my letter over, and find I have written nothing worth reading. Accept much love from your affectionate friend, Emily E. D. Thursday, September 26th, 1845. Dearest A., as I just glanced at the clock and saw how smoothly the little hands glide over the surface, I could scarcely believe that those selfsame little hands had eloped with so many of my precious moments since I received your affectionate letter, and it was still harder for me to believe that I, who am always boasting of being so faithful a correspondent, should have been guilty of negligence in so delaying to answer it. I am very glad to hear that you are better than you have been, and I hope in future disease will not be as neighborly as he has been heretofore to either of us. I long to see you, dear A., and speak with you face to face, but so long as a bodily interview is denied us, we must make letters answer, though it is hard for friends to be separated. I really believe you would have been frightened to have heard me scold when Sabra informed me that you had decided not to visit Amherst this fall. But as I could find no one upon whom to vent my spleen for your decision, I thought it best to be calm, and therefore have at length resigned myself to my cruel fate, though with not a very good grace. I think you do well to inquire whether anything has been heard from H. I really don't know what has become of her, unless procrastination has carried her off. I think that must be the case. I think you have given quite a novel description of the wedding. Are you quite sure Mr. F., the minister, told them to stand up, and he would tie them in a great bowknot? But I beg pardon for speaking so lightly of so solemn a ceremony. You asked me in your letter if I did not think you partial in your admiration of Mrs. Helen H., ditto Mrs. P. I answer, not in the least. She was universally beloved in Amherst. She made us quite a visit in June, and we regretted more than ever that she was going where we could not see her as often as we had been accustomed. She seemed very happy in her prospects, and seemed to think the distance nothing in comparison to a home with one of her choice. I hope she will be happy, and of course she will. I wished much to see her once more, but was denied the privilege. You asked me if I was attending school now. I am not. Mother thinks me not able to confine myself to school this term. She had rather I would exercise, and I can assure you I get plenty of that article by staying at home. I am going to learn to make bread tomorrow. So you may imagine me with my sleeves rolled up, mixing flour, milk, saleratus, etc., with a deal of grace. I advise you, if you don't know how to make the staff of life, to learn with dispatch. I think I could keep house very comfortably if I knew how to cook. But as long as I don't, my knowledge of housekeeping is about of as much use as faith without works, which you know we are told is dead. Excuse my quoting from Scripture, dear A., for it was so handy in this case. I couldn't get along very well without it. Since I wrote you last, the summer is past and gone, and autumn with the sere and yellow leaf is already upon us. I never knew the time to pass so swiftly, it seems to me, as the past summer. I really think someone must have oiled his chariot wheels, for I don't recollect of hearing him pass, and I am sure I should if something had not prevented his chariot wheels from creaking as usual. But I will not expatiate upon him any longer, for I know it is wicked to trifle with so revered a personage, and I fear he will make me a call in person to inquire as to the remarks which I have made concerning him. Therefore I will let him alone for the present. How are you getting on with your music? Well, I hope and trust. I am taking lessons, and am getting along very well, and now I have a piano, I am very happy. I feel much honored at having even a doll named for me. I believe I shall have to give it a silver cup, as that is the custom among old ladies when a child is named for them. Have you any flowers now? I have had a beautiful flower garden this summer, but they are nearly gone now. It is very cold tonight, and I mean to pick the prettiest ones before I go to bed and cheat Jack Frost of so many of their treasures he calculates to rob tonight. Won't it be a capital idea to put him at defiance for once at least, if no more? I would love to send you a bouquet if I had an opportunity and you could press it and write under it, "The last flowers of summer." Wouldn't it be poetical? And you know that is what young ladies aim to be nowadays. I expect I have altered a good deal since I have seen you, dear A. I have grown tall a good deal, and wear my golden tresses done up in a net cap. Modesty, you know, forbids me to mention whether my personal appearance has altered. I leave that for others to judge. But my word omitted has not changed, nor will it in time to come. I shall always remain the same old sixpence. I can say no more now, as it is after 10, and everybody has gone to bed but me. Don't forget your affectionate friend, Emily E. D. This is the end of the letters to Mrs. A. P. Strong, dating from the year 1845. In the next video, we will proceed to the letters dating from 1846. Thank you for listening.